Aha, there we are. There we are.
Hey.
Okay, we appear to be live and in living color. Let me see here. Well, Joe, let me see. Is it Catapano?
That is right. Yeah,
That
you
is
got it right on
correct.
the first track.
Yeah, okay. Well, welcome. Meant to have you here a few weeks ago, but my computer exploded. It was horrible.
It's all good.
Oh no, but we are the $6 million man. We have been rebuilt faster and stronger than ever. And so
coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah. I got actually, nice upgrade for what we started at. And you put more put more RAM in there, and it ended up it sucked that the computer messed up on me, but
right. Yeah, it was worth it in the end.
Yeah, it was worth it. Yeah, the upgrades were, I just spent a couple $100 and upgraded, and the computer works 10 times better than it did before everything happened. Let me see. Okay, so anybody new here, my name is Antonio Bryce. I am a comic book writer. I have currently brand Way of the Gun on Indiegogo right now, and we're over 30,000. So thank you to those who have supported that book. And we are also doing the pre-launch for Daym Drops Comics Super Official. There you can go to daymcomic.com and just type that in, and it will take you right there, and just drop your email in. And for those of you that sign up for that, you'll get a little secret link once we launch that will give you some extra goodies for people that support us early. I'm going to use this audio here on my podcast. You can get that at anchor.fm/Ikari Press. We are also on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. Google and Stitcher and all those other places. And I also want to say hello to our friends watching over on Planet EJOBN. We're going to have some fun today. A lot of, several thousand people over there on Planet EJOBN, 264,000 last I checked. And if you are on another platform, unfortunately, Periscope is not working today, but if you follow me on Twitter, I have tweeted the link out to this. I tried to link our Periscope, and Twitter's been having a lot of craziness today. So it was unfortunately was not able to connect this stream to our Periscope, but we are live on the other places, so that's good. But yeah, it's youtube.com/Ikari Press if you just want to hang and hop in the chat directly. And okay, well, we've got chat. Hello, Art Jedi. How are you? So welcome here. And but yeah, Joe,
hey.
I saw you on Twitter, and you've got this project, and it's called Star Circuit, and
correct,
looks really, really cool. So let's talk about that and how did this all come up? Because I mean, you're doing the art yourself and you're writing this, or what are you?
It's the first time I've done both jobs, art and writing, all in one shot, and color as well. Yeah.
Okay. You're coloring it as well?
Yeah.
So you're doing everything. Okay.
Yeah, I've got Eric Weathers on letters, but besides that, it's all me.
Well, salute to Eric Weathers. Was that Battle Brick Road, which I am a proud backer of. Yes.
Me too.
Yes. Oh, dude, I had to get that. What's the guy? Rockerford.
Kenneth.
Yeah, he put that. Yeah.
That guy's a legend.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I love his stuff. I've been following him on Instagram for a while. And and they put, Eric had tweeted out I guess it was the Scarecrow cover. The guy's got this long assault rifle and all this, and that was supposed to just be a trading card.
Right.
I was like, dude, that's got to be a cover. It was so strong. The art was so strong. I was like, that's got to be a cover. And he thought about it and he put it up there. And I was like, as soon as he put that up as a cover, I was like, yeah, I'm getting that. So
for sure.
That is, I thought, Battle Brick Road, and I know he just crossed 72,000. So congratulations. Yeah.
He's
got a hit.
Yeah, I mean, it's the IP seems like it's gold. So you can't go wrong when you're taking, huge classic characters like that and making them evolved for the present time. So,
yeah, I'm assuming that there is no estate or whatever. I don't know. I can't remember the guy that wrote Wizard of Oz, but it's
I don't think it's under the free clause, but I do think it's so far away from what he wrote anyway. It's,
Well, I mean, the reason I say that is because I know the estate of Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. They still have some of the rights to Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. There was, yeah. That's why I was like, I had heard about some little lawsuits that they had with certain. I know I thought they were kind of having a little back and forth with Netflix over certain, because they got that in that Enola Holmes or whatever that's on Netflix with that's the thing. I've heard his estate still has the rights for at least a few more years.
Yeah, so there's probably a good amount of checks going back to that family still.
And there was it Edgar Rice Burroughs. His family still has some of the rights to some of his, not all of, like John Carter, I think, is public domain now.
Oh yeah.
Some, but for what I understand, if you write something, your family can retain the rights for about 100 years after you pass.
Okay, yeah, that seems about right.
Yeah, so it's like, but some of the things that he's worked on, like I think John Carter was written before, and some of that's lapsed into the public domain or whatever. But
I've got a couple ideas in that realm too. It's tempting to go for it because you're it's something cool. People recognize it already, and you can take it from there.
Yeah, I was kind of fascinated by some of the what's public domain, what's not public domain.
Right.
I watch Richard C. Myers' channel, and there was a moment there where he was like, next year the rights to Batman are going to come up or something like that. It was like he was talking about the rights to Batman coming up within the next few years, and he was like, you have to, what was it? When did Batman come out? 1937, I think, or something like that. I think it was 1937.
Yeah, I don't know the exact date. The first appearance in DC.
Detective Comics number, what was it? Number 27?
I think so.
Like and then Detective Comics number 27, which was the first appearance of the Dark Knight. But I thought that arrived in 37, but I might be wrong because it was maybe a year or two prior that we got Action Comics 1, and that was Superman. And see, that was, and we were actually talking about Superman the other day when I was streaming, and with Tim Olson, and that was something because we kind of talked about some of the stuff that happened with Smallville and the legal rights over that, because they actually ended up getting rid of Superboy in the comics for a brief period there, because the estates of Siegel and Schuster apparently owned the character Superboy, but they didn't own. They obviously DC owned Superman outright, but for some reason, when they came and created the New Deal, when they came back to work on, it was like, hey, we're going to do Superboy. Apparently, they owned that. They signed a better deal than they did when they created Superman the first time. But we've talked about that, and I also talked about on another stream how Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman had a lawsuit, and
over what? I don't know about that.
It was over. Well, it was several years ago when Neil Gaiman was hired to write Spawn number 9, which is the first appearance of Angela, and it's also the first appearance of Medieval Spawn.
Oh, really?
And then so I bought that book way back then. So I loved Angela, but there's a reason Angela now belongs to Marvel Comics, because when there was some legal disputes between Neil and Todd, and then the lawyers got involved, and Neil was like, I created Angela and I created Medieval Spawn. And then Todd's like, how can you own Medieval Spawn? It's just Spawn from a different time. Right. And Neil had very good lawyers.
Yeah.
And he had very good lawyers.
I'm sure he's got the best, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And he won his lawsuit. and so they kind of worked out where Todd would get the full rights to Medieval Spawn, and Angela went to Neil, and they kind of and also Neil ended up getting the rights to publish Mr. Miracle, which was Todd. Neil had bought partial rights to Mr. Miracle, and Todd had bought partial rights to Mr. Miracle, and the whole thing happened because Neil had contacted Todd because he had purchased from one company that owned rights, and Todd had bought the Eclipse catalog or whatever, and they had a larger share of the Mr. Miracle, and Neil was wanting to get he had kind of cut his teeth on Mr. Miracle like 35, 40 years ago or whatever.
I know about that. Yeah.
And so, he was like, yo, I want to do Mr. Miracle stories. And him and Todd had kind of worked something out where he was like, oh, okay, well, I'll give you Angela outright, and then you can just give me the Mr. Miracle, and we'll just go our own way. And and then Todd did something, and he decided he was going to put Mr. Miracle in Spawn, and there was all this. And like I said, Neil got his lawyers, and
he got what his was.
Yeah, Neil won. So right. Neil won. And
I don't know where I would side on that. I feel like it's tough because a derivative of a character could be really considered the same character.
Well, Mr. Miracle is Shazam, is Captain Marvel.
Right. I was talking about Spawn and.
Well, that's like I said. The courts sided with Neil though. So I mean, but Todd owns Medieval Spawn outright, but I guess. He didn't. I'm surprised he didn't just offer Neil money so he could have, because I loved Angela in the Spawn comics. Although towards the end there, she was popping up everywhere, and that was one of the things I was talking about. She was popping up in it. It's like Violator Angela, Glory Angela. They were doing so many. She was like one of their hottest characters.
Right. So they were they could.
Yeah, they were putting her with all of, Bad Rock Angela. She was in all these different. A lot of those books are on eBay for like $3.
Really?
Where it's like Glory, Evangeline, Angela. It was like it was that kind of thing,
right.
Where and obviously Todd and Rob Liefeld were very cool. And
I'm gonna have to look that up now because it's such an interesting.
Someone needs to do a whole breakdown. I would love to. Would love to speak to. I'm a big fan of Neil Gaiman's. I actually named the character in Brand after Neil Gaiman.
Nice.
So I'm a big fan of Neil Gaiman.
I am too.
He had very good lawyers.
I bet by that time he's got the money. He ended up because apparently Marvel Comics had given him some money to help him fight Todd, and he wrote that, what was that, 1604 or whatever that book was, where it was the Marvel comic here. Yeah, he did the whole thing. And he took that money that they had advanced him and put it in his legal defense, and like I say, he won. He ended up doing the damn thing. He won the case, and then next thing you know, Angela's the lost daughter of Odin. Out of nowhere,
Yeah. If you ever read what she ended up in the Guardians of the Galaxy, they even did as Guardians of the Galaxy, which they made a little. They did as. Oh yeah, how did you?
I didn't know.
As Guardians of the Galaxy.
I must have missed that. Yeah. Marvel side, I miss a lot of Marvel stuff.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, you check out, they've got all that stuff like on Amazon, trade paperbacks and stuff. But they did as Guardians of the Galaxy, and that introduced Angela into the Marvel comic universe or whatever. The 616 or 615? I think it's 616 universe. Earth 616 is Marvel Earth Prime, if I'm not mistaken.
All right. I gotta check that out too. I'm gonna make a list.
Yeah. so that's what they did. So they ended up they ended up doing that. And so that's why Angela is no longer part of the Spawn universe. I mean, she was on the Spawn cartoon. She was on I'm saying
on the HBO one, right?
And she was on the Spawn cartoon, and she had a hidden cameo in the Spawn movie with Michael Jai White, which we actually showed the guy Onyx. I had Onyx from goingfullnerd.com on, and that was one of the things we were talking. He didn't know any of this stuff either, and he actually looked it up while we were on the air. And I was like, "There's a hidden," because I remember I used to read Wizard magazine all the time, and they had talked about there were hidden Easter eggs in the Spawn movie, and in that scene where Spawn crashes through the roof at that ball or whatever, he comes the cape, and that was the whole the CGI cape was horrible. I hated that, and that was one of the patrons at the ball was a young redheaded lady with two big Spawn decals. She had the two Spawn logos on her earrings, just like Angela. You know, she kills Spawn. And she put the and they. If you watch that movie again, and you know to look for, you'll see there's a redheaded woman there with Spawn earrings.
Yeah, that's how it always is.
Yeah, she was on the scene for like 2 seconds, and then
legit write this down.
There is a Spawn cowboy. I know. Matter of fact, I follow Ken Lashley on Instagram, and that was something I saw him drawing. Although I think his Spawn run is up. He was only on Spawn for 5 or 6 issues, I think. I don't. Or he might still be the primary Spawn artist because was it Jason Sean Alexander did like at least 20 or so issues of Spawn, and then he's doing some other book, I think, at Image now. And then Todd brought in, he did Spawn 300, and then Todd started drawing more of the book. But Ken Lashley was really, because I was like, I know Todd McFarlane's not really going to do. He's like, I need to go back and give my fans what they want, and I'm going to start drawing Spawn again. And he drew, drawing a couple pages here and there in the book.
Not even a full book.
Yeah, no, he's definitely, and he still just works on the cover. He does the inks on the covers and stuff and sometimes he'll draw the full cover, but he's not doing full page sequential art and all that kind of. He's not doing that stuff anymore. That's that ship is sailed. I mean, he's way too busy with all the toys and stuff that he makes. Yeah, that's a big business. Him making all those toys and stuff. Yeah, that's big business.
That's a tough gig though, because I don't know. Like, would I go the Jim Lee route and try to do even more to keep drawing, or do I go whatever? There's a lot of guys that are trying to do both. I know Finch is still drawing interiors. And he doesn't have a whole business though. So
that's why I'm like, Todd had several titles coming because he had like Spawn, and he had Legends of Spawn, and then so that way it's the same thing as like Legends of the Dark Knight or whatever, where you could different iterations of the same character, and they wrote a lot about like medieval Spawn and like the the Spawn, whatever the hell it's called. But then he also, the Sam and Twitch was actually badass. They had a Sam and Twitch comic.
Really?
And what's the guy? I can't remember his name. But I know Brian Michael Bendis was the original writer on that. I can't remember. I think, was it Angel Ramirez, Angel Hernandez? He had also illustrated that Kiss Psycho Circus comic book that Image had put out way back. I'm going back like 35 years.
I know. I think I saw a poster of that one time.
I actually have the first issue because it was they wrote about it in Wizard. And they were like, oh, this book's heating up because it was like Kiss and the Psycho Circus. Kiss has put out so many other comic books and stuff, and that Kiss book that I bought ain't worth shit. It's like it's barely worth the cover price now. I think you're paying like $2 for it, I bought it. But that guy, I can't remember. Like I said, he ended up going over to he went over to Marvel and he did some Spider-Man stuff and different. So I mean, he's had a good career. Like I said, that was 30 years ago.
Oh yeah.
So but I'm a big fan of the Toddsters. I don't know what did you grow up?
What did I grow up on? Well, for one, I wasn't really allowed to as a kid, so I had to like sneak them. So I grabbed whatever I could from the bus. Whoever else had them on the bus and stuff. So I didn't get to really choose. I remember reading a lot of cartoony stuff, some Marvel stuff, and then I ended up liking DC because of just one guy having more DC, and that's just kind of how it worked. So I read a lot of the old school Flash Rebirth stuff, or not Rebirth. Was before Rebirth. Maybe it was Green Lantern Rebirth. Maybe was what I started on.
That would be.
I'm a big
Skyver.
That's EVS. That's EVS. That's EVS. So that, and then a lot of the X-Force, all the old 80s, 90s books, more 90s books.
Did you read? So you read? Let me guess. Did you read the mature label X-Force that was hardcore?
I found some of them because,
No,
like I said,
that X-Force was badass.
Oh yeah,
That X-Force, where it was hard, it was mature, and you saw them dismembering and killing. They were the mutant hit squad.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! That's
It was
not
awesome.
the same X-Force that Rob Liefeld originally,
Intended it. Yeah,
it was Cable and Domino and
right.
Shatterstar and
I remember it being brutal, and I remember like having because like I said, my parents let me like really read, so I was like feeling all sneaky about it, and it was pretty cool to see all that stuff. But like I said, I didn't get to really, really dig in until more like high school, even college was when I really delved in. I just read as much as I could. I read a lot of indie books, Paul Pope, not Paul Pope, a few others, but a lot of Image Comics.
I thought you were talking about, what was it? He had a book called, I think it was called Concrete. I thought you were talking about that guy. It was a big stone monster. I'm trying to think. Man, was it Paul Smith? No, I can't. God, it kills me. I was like, I used to see his stuff in Wizard all the time. Him and what's the guy that did Dawn? Joseph Michael Linsner.
I'm not good with names, but
I'm pretty sure that's Joseph Michael Linsner. He had that Dawn book, and which some people were telling me my character, my female character's name's Dawn. She's Dawn Craven. She's gonna be married to the main character, David Craven. Nice. And they were like, hey man, Joseph Michael Linsner has Dawn. You might want to change the name. And I was like, he has Dawn the goddess. I have Dawn Craven. It's different.
Yeah, so
it's not the same character. He doesn't have the copyright on characters named Dawn. My character and his character are completely different. There's nothing. I'm like, like I said, his character is a goddess and the whole thing. I mean,
that's not how it works. Yeah, if you tie a word to whatever studios just because somebody's got whatever word and I don't know, press or productions next to it, it's a totally different IP.
Well, you'd be surprised some of the crazy DMs, especially when I first started the crowdfund and the book started being a little successful and people would DM me. It's like, hey man, you might want to change this or you might want to change that. And I was like, oh dude, come on, man. And there's a lot of internet lawyers out there. And basically, but yeah, I was told to change it. I was like, so you're telling me that I couldn't have a character named Bruce because DC owns Bruce Wayne?
It's silly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like you can use, I was like, I couldn't name a character Peter because I have a character named Peter Richards. So Marvel Comics owns Peter Parker, so I probably should change the name. I was like, people are telling me all kind of Dawn Craven and Dawn the Goddess that Joseph Michael Linsner created are completely different.
Yeah, you gotta check out who's giving you this advice. I got so much bad advice when I started out drawing and stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, you can't have any characters named Joe.
Yeah, at all.
Make sure you know that. So
anything like that, any kind of common name.
But yeah, I mean, like I said, how long have you been drawing, by the way? Because your style is outstanding. I thought it's almost when I saw some of the stuff that you were showing. I don't know if you can actually do screen share and show some of it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was like, were you a fan of like Joe Madureira or any of that kind of stuff?
I mean, Joe Mad is a huge influence, and his
I saw it. I was like, yo, this shit looks like Joe.
His protege, Paul Richard. I don't know if you know this guy. Paul Richards. He just worked on concept art with him at when they made the Darksiders games.
I thought you were about to say that he worked on Battle, because I remember Battle Chasers and stuff like that. Yeah.
No, he didn't ink on that, but he was just like a guy that really admired him, and he like adopted his style. And so this other guy, Paul Richards, I forgot his website now, but he's got the same style. His concept art's off the chain. If you like Joe Mad, you'll love this guy as well.
Oh yeah, that's what I was like. I'm a huge fan of Joe Madureira, and I was just stuff. I mean, I remember when he took over, he was one of the ones that got on X-Men. Before, like when the Exodus happened, when we lost Todd McFarlane, Jim Lee, Rob Liefeld, Mark Silvestri, Eric Larson, Will Sportaccio, and was it Jim Valentino? Valentino. Yeah. So yeah, when all of a sudden Joe Madureira was, and I was like, whoa, and you also had the Kubert brothers. You had the Adam and was Adam and Andy? Yeah,
Andy,
Adam and Andy. I was like, yeah, and Joe Kubert was still alive for a few more years. So they come on and people were like, who is this guy? And he's drawing like this manga style, and the stuff looked incredible.
Oh yeah,
Joe, and then they did the Age of Apocalypse storyline. Was what Scott Lobdell. I know Mark Waid was writing on some of that, and I know Scott Lobdell and Mark Waid kind of was like, they didn't get
mesh
along.
well.
They kind of had some problems because that was strange because I was really enjoying Mark Waid's Flash run. He was writing Flash, and he also did Impulse. So he did Flash and Impulse, and I was loving both of those. And then he wrote Kingdom Come, which was, and that's like one of those, like, if you're going to people and you and people say, okay, I don't read comics, what should I read?
Right.
That's one of those that I recommend to people. Yeah, Kingdom Come is, that's why I always get irritated when people just talk about, oh, okay, well, the only reason that book was good was because of the art. And make no mistake, Alex Ross is a genius and he is brilliant. And I loved his work with Kurt Busiek on Marvels as well.
Oh yeah, speaking of Busiek, with Bagley on Ultimate Spider-Man was a good mix. I like that a lot.
I didn't know. I only was reading like Brian Michael Bendis' stuff on Ultimate Spider-Man, so I didn't know if.
No, it was Busiek and who we just said, Bagley. Yeah.
Okay, because Bagley did 100 issues straight of Ultimate Spider-Man, which actually broke Jack Kirby's record on Fantastic Four.
Oh, really?
That
run was, I think, it's just because of the cohesiveness of the art, and it just felt like that's one book I would recommend to like just a kid that wants to see consistency. Yeah,
that's why I was like, the fact that Bagley did 100 issues, like 111 issues straight. Yeah, okay. Like I said, he broke Jack Kirby's record for straight, because he did what he did. I don't know exactly how many issues straight of Fantastic Four that he did before he left and went over to DC and created the New Gods, and he was drawing Jimmy Olsen Spider-Man. I mean, not Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best pal, Jimmy Olsen, which is where he decided to start introducing some of those New Gods concepts. Matter of fact, let me up here. Bam.
Yeah, so I wanted to pull up the one screen, then we can bring up whatever stuff I need to show on one side. So Star Circuit, like you said, you pinpointed some of it. Like Joe Mad is a big piece of what I like because of, I've got some 80s anime child influences too, just growing up watching late night anime and stuff. So that all influenced, I'm sure that's what influenced him, because that's all we could get over here.
Or are you working traditionally?
I'm working both. I can show you the transition here, because I'm not inking my book. I just go straight pencils to color. It's one of the reasons why I have to color it myself.
Oh wow! Okay.
So
because I'm like I said, I just saw a lot of what I saw originally was just, dude, I love this stuff, man.
So this is the cover. This is my original cover, and I'll show you the pencils here in a second because you can see kind of the transition. But I always thought I wasn't clean enough to do it, and I really still don't think I am. But coloring my own work,
you draw something for me, man. Hey, dude, this is great. I think you do a great job on some of my characters. I got to get you to draw.
Dude, I would love to branch out because you draw your own stuff, but sometimes not that you get old, you draw the same guys over and over. You like to branch out a little bit. So let's see. I'm going to go to the scans and grab this thing here for the cover. All right. Let's see. All right. So these are the differences here. But yeah, it goes straight from there, and then I just boost the levels and clean up what I need to, and then.
I mean, you're a great artist, man.
Thank you.
I'm serious, man. I'm looking at this and I'm like, this reminds me of like, I was like 19 and I was reading. I was watching Record of Lotus War, and I was watching Ninja Scroll, and some of those kind of, like I said, that anime influence. It really spoke to me, man. I was like, this shit is dope, man.
Yeah. Same here. I love the there's something about the simplicity mixed with this very mature proportions. It's like you got this good mix of clean and sophisticated. So yeah, our Jedi is actually he's my number one fan from my stream, and he stopped by. I told him I'd be over this way. Thanks for showing up, Jedi.
That's it. Yeah.
But yeah, I'll show some of the pages. You can read the actual first 4 pages on the website as the enticing perk to go sign up for the mailing list. And I can give a quick pitch too, if we can do that.
Yeah. Tell people about it, because, like I said, we've got the link. Whatever, if you're on Planet EJOBN, or if you're
not yet, but I will, because I wasn't aware of exactly what it was, and didn't have a good intro to it. Is it just something I signed up for and we just joined the community?
No, I'm just talking. Well, we've got people on Planet EGOB watching that. It's a blurred group. It's a blurred group there on Facebook, and like I said, they've got they've got over 260,000 members on the group. So that's I've got when I set the stream up, you put all the links in there. So if you're on Planet EGOBN and you're looking at this and you're like, whoa, this looks really cool, you should be able to click on that link and just drop your email in there.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So Star Circuit, it's inspired by, if you're like we were talking about anime, probably the best anime out there is probably Akira. That was just drawn. I mean, I don't know about the story, but Akira is just drawn so well that it pulled me in and inspired me to build on this something where, if you found an Akira movie that was mostly about the racing rather than just the crazy scientific experiment that goes wrong, what I wanted was more racing, wanted more bikes, wanted more cyberpunk, and that's what I try to put together in Star Circuit. So the basic blurb is on the augmented streets of this colony in the future, the culture revolves around this high-speed motorcycle league, where androids have kind of taken over, and they're so good that the skill pool is just insane. Human pilots can't even qualify for races anymore. So in this futuristic society, people have gotten so complacent. It's just you take it for granted that you won't be able to race professionally. But at one point, this one street racer, he's kind of like an asshole. This is the guy in the cover, Atlas. He kind of accidentally discovers this long forgotten racing legend, and he kind of coaxes him into entering into the championship. And so the only way he's going to survive is if he trusts this new mentor he's got, and if he learns more about himself, and he pretty much he's like this asshole of a character. So he learns how to not be so much of he's just become a better person, and in turn you become a better racer. You just respect the road. There's so many things that come along with developing as a person. So that's what I went for. And it's the first chapter is over 30 pages, and that's what we're signing up for. So instead of doing a trade back, I wanted to do somewhere in between, not a first issue, but I just found a spot where a good chapter end would work.
Well, I mean, like I said, this looks. You said you have some interior pages.
Yeah. Let's do that. Yeah. You can read the first 4, but I'm going to bring up just the art because unless you guys want to see the lettering by Eric Weathers, that's always an option.
Whatever you feel like sharing.
Okay, sure. Let's do Eric Weathers, because he did a great job on the letters. I want to help him out as well. Let's go preview. All right. Okay. So this is the first 4 pages. This is what you'll see on the website. This is the 4 pages that I'm showing off for preview. So just dig in here. It's got like the style of, like I said, like this two-tone animation mixed with comic books. I wanted this like grittiness. That's another reason why I left the pencils kind of like the sketchiness of the pencils are left in because it matches the gritty tone of like cyberpunk and whatnot. So it's definitely what I wanted to go for. Let's see if I can hide this sidebar. We'll just do that. All right. And then one more page. Let's see. But yeah, this is what it's all about. It's like it's a story about pretty much like development, trying to solve your own problems, but at the same time, by solving your own problems, you solve everyone's problems.
Yeah. Like I said, pages look really good, and Eric did a good job of I like the special effects on the pages and all that. Yeah, stuff looks good.
Killer. Yeah, I appreciate all the support. Anybody else out there who's putting out their emails and backing the book. We're currently around 70 people, and I'm trying to get it to around 200 before I push it.
Right. I got you.
So, but that's the goal. And like I said, I probably spent a whole lot of time just designing. I can show some of my designs off too. It took so long to just design everything in a sci-fi book. It's tough. I don't know if are you working in the sci-fi genre, or are you just strictly like fantasy for Ikari Press stuff?
Yeah, that's it's, I'd say brand is definitely more supernatural. I said some people try to say it's horror, and I'm
really?
like, yeah, there's more. It's not. I don't know. I kind of cringe when people say, "Oh, it's a horror book," and I was like, "No, it's not." I mean, you're not getting like Simon Bisley, or it's kind of you're not getting horror, but like, yeah, there's gonna be like vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. But it's more, I'd say, supernatural fantasy type, because we've got angels and demons and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So it's more. It's not a straight out horror comic. But a lot of people try to. They're trying to figure out, when they see what they actually read brand, and they check it out, and they go, okay, all this stuff. They go, wow, what is this? Because it's definitely not. And some people say, oh, it's a superhero, and I was like, no, it's not superhero book either. So it's like,
I do love books like that where it's like you can't really pin it down.
Yeah, so like I said, it's definitely got like more religious. It's there's going to be more religious type themes in it. You're going to be dealing with like folklore. You might see a leprechaun or something pop up. That kind of stuff. So it'll be that kind of. We'll be dealing with stuff like that. And, maybe Merlin will pop up, or
cool.
That kind of different things will happen.
Yeah, that's what I meant for like the fantasy thing. Because fantasy could be other things, but yeah, that's kind of like this mythological almost in some ways fantasy. But yeah, there's I haven't read much of your work. I've seen some like just pages I could find online. But do you have a current campaign? Am I missing something?
Yeah, that's what I was like. Yeah, I've got Brand Way of the Gun up. This is second chapter, and
okay, I see it now. Yeah, I'm gonna check it out right after this because
and then for I'm sending out the rest of the book one campaign. So it's like
nice.
But I have an option on the campaign where people can purchase a copy of book one. So
killer.
We've got a thing going. So yeah.
Nice. I'm going to put up some of my cast members in the book too. We'll do this.
Yeah, let's get it.
Yeah. I just want to like put up some stuff that like some of the design stuff that took a while to figure out.
I'm like, I like the way the characters look. I mean,
I wanted to go with
time it took you to do all this.
Dude, it's so much time outside of like doing, when you got a day job, it's tough to like, for a while, just waking up at 4 a.m. and just doing work until go to the day job. And sometimes you get good work done. Sometimes you don't because you're running on fumes sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody that is a creator kind of feels that.
Trust me.
Yeah. So that, it takes a long time. So the designs, I spent like a year and a half, just the designs. and then did the book over another year of just slowly doing it, because this is my first book where I wrote and drew it. So I didn't really know what I was doing. So I took the extra time to figure it out. And from all the test reads, I think I did a good job. So I'm confident that the book is exactly what I want it to be. Everyone says you really can't put it down once you start. So that's all I was going for.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm actually this one's on my radar.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, I'm kind of wanting to check it out there, because I'm like, yeah, this I'm very interested in your story, because like I said, the art spoke to me, but hopefully you're right, because
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm passionate about the themes and just like everything around it. So it's hard not to write something that comes out, somewhat put together. But yeah, it doesn't take a year to make a comic, so you can tell that there's extra time put in to redo and rewrite. I've rewrote it a million times. So at least it feels like a million.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it looks incredible, man. I'm hoping you get some eyes on this thing.
Oh yeah, I really appreciate the signal boost. This stuff I usually don't show a lot. This is like some of the design stuff I do on the side. It's maybe not so great to see because it doesn't have the best contrast. But I was trying to figure out the highway system with this one, just how a chase sequence would work. And I remember talking to somebody at DC Comics when I was doing a portfolio review, and they don't really delve into like chase sequences.
Hold on. So I gotta stop you there. Okay, so you did a portfolio review with someone at DC, which is pretty common. A lot of artists, I hear a lot of, they'll go to cons, they'll take a portfolio book, and they'll try to approach the different pros there and try to that's actually how Jay Lee got into the business, because he was like 17 years old. He went to a con and Scott Lobdell was there, and he showed it. He was underage, but Scott Lobdell he gave him some pointers and ended up helping him, and they worked together on what was Marvel Comics Presents, because he was doing a like an 8-part Beast story with Rob Liefeld, and then Rob Liefeld obviously got promoted up to New Mutants, and then they let Jay Lee finish the rest of the story out, and so that was what happened. So
they're similar. I had like 2 or 3 different reviews with DC, and all of them went well. It's just like different times at different places. Everybody has different expectations, and not everybody has maybe the right editor doesn't find you. There's a lot of different things. And a lot of times I don't think I was even up to par, maybe the first couple times, but the last time I showed this off, not the concept, of the highway, but some of the Star Circuit stuff. And they commented on it. Like they haven't seen too many, like almost like they didn't respect chase sequences that much. Like they do it once in a while. There's not many of them. It's cool to see, and that's all they really commented on it. But so this is kind of how I figured it out. Like I have a top-down map over here on this left side. I did like a top-down map to figure out what was happening when, and all the in between. That's all the kind of the behind-the-scenes stuff.
How did you come up with who did your logo?
I did as well.
Okay, so really, because like I said, you did colors. And that's I've my buddy Elliot Fernandez, he colors a lot of his own stuff, and he sometimes he does a fantastic, because like I'm looking at this and you got nice shading on the young lady there with the blue hair. You see she's got that little over swoop deal going, and then you've got like the lighting effects over the hair. And I was like I said, that stuff's not easy. Trust me. I've had so many people send me like different art samples and stuff. And it's not easy to get some of that right sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you do.
I appreciate all the, the compliments, because it does take time. Like you asked me before when I started, I'm actually a late kind of start. I started drawing at like 20. So I was always creative. I was playing music. I was doing other creative things. but I really didn't start drawing like as if I wanted to do it professionally until like 2021. So, and I'm like 33 now. So it took like several years just to like
Oh,
get the
you still
flow.
a puppy.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
my goodness. you still young in the game, man. I'm surprised somebody ain't snatched you up.
Yeah, well, that's the cool part about being an up and comer. You never know when it's going to happen, so it's kind of this nice anticipation. It might happen. You never know when someone might see your work.
Do you have any other book? Do you have any published work that someone?
I've done like cards. I've done Upper Deck and stuff, but
oh man, so many people. I know so many people.
Yeah, so many people, right? But I've done good Upper Deck cards.
Well, I mean, theirs was too. My buddy Jimbo Salgado.
I'm sure, yeah.
He's been doing those cards for. And then they've got like the premium set with, that's where the Hildebrandt brothers would. Although one of them is no longer with us, and
right.
The Hildebrandts I would always see their works like Marvel Masters. Premium collection, all this kind of thing. So you would, I would go to my comic shop and buy those card sets. So
cool. Yeah, I love doing them. They just, they don't pay enough to like justify all the materials even because they're all traditional. So like just going through the Copic markers alone just covers the cost of the card. So that got a little bit, but besides that, the credits, I just have done small little books that haven't really been published, just like self-published by other people, other writers. So I've done stuff for Wes Locker over at Alterna. Well, he used to letter all the books at Alterna. But I think he stopped doing that now. So I'm aware, I know Pete a little bit. So
Publishing Pete.
Yeah, Publishing Pete. He's a great dude. But yeah, there's a lot of little things I've done. Nothing published though. Nothing really published. So this will be if Star Circuit funds, it's my first step to people actually seeing my work on a book.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna back this. So,
dude, I really appreciate it.
Yeah, this looks great, man. I'm excited for you. This is it looks really, really cool, man.
When was your first your first book that you maybe got published or maybe just took seriously?
That would be this one. The one that's at my feet right now.
Oh, let's see it.
that would be my book right here.
Oh, nice.
Cover, with Kanan's cover and all that good stuff. So yeah, this was and I came up with the concept for brand 1998. So 1998, and
wow.
then I was just having to work and just do different things, and I was like, I still have my original notebook with my notes, and they were written in pencil, so I was like writing all these different character ideas. So yeah, like over 20 years ago, I came up with this idea.
Yeah, that's always great.
And went to print in late January of this year, and like I said, I've been shipping them out. Kanan had to fly Kanan out, had him sign books and do all that kind of stuff.
Oh, that's awesome! You flew him out to get the.
Yeah, well, that was one of we had a stretch goal because the first book we did 78,000 on. So yeah, we had 2,488 backers. And we did 78,000, and I've been shipping those out. So that's why I was like, I'm getting into the last 700 of the books that I've processed over 1,600 orders so far by my lonesome, by the way. And
that's amazing. That's tough.
But I'm doing that, and then also wrote the script. The 60-page script for Brand Way of the Gun, which is part 2. We're half done on that one. And then, like I said, that one's funding right now. We're over 30,000. And then I'm doing Super Official with Daym Drops. So me and Kanan are doing that. We're getting the 5-page preview of the book ready. And then once we get that completed, we're going to launch. We'll do the launch. And then I'm going to do another book once we get all that stuff worked out. There's going to be I brought Mike Barron in to write a story for me called Brand Children of Man. I had an idea for a story there. So they had to bring the Eisner Award winner in two
That's
two
awesome.
Eisners. Yeah, two Eisners actually. But yeah, I had to bring him in to he took one of my story ideas, and he did a really I was like I had this kind of crazy idea that involved like Charles Dickens and all this other stuff. It was like it's set in the past, and I kind of kicked it to him, and he thought it was interesting, and he agreed to write it. So that was awesome.
That's all. Yeah, that's amazing. Anytime you get like kind of collaboration with people you admire, and
Yeah, I actually told Mike the first time I think the first issue of his work that I ever, because he wrote Punisher, he wrote Badger, he wrote he wrote Flash, he wrote Justice League. He's done so much. He's got Star Wars stuff that he wrote over at Dark Horse when before those rights reverted back to Marvel and Disney or whatever. But yeah, he wrote several Star Wars stories. But let me see here. Ryan Cardinal says, just followed you, Joe, on Twitter. Do you have an Instagram as well?
I do. It's same name, Catapano Art. Just my last name, ART.
Well, I'm about to follow you on the gram. I've got
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I've got over 11,000 people that follow the Ikari Press Instagram.
Oh, hell yeah! I'm only under. I'm probably near 2, just under 2.
Let's see. So let me find you there.
Under 2.
And I will add you there on the gram. Hopefully you do some twerking. I like when people twerk on the gram. Okay, so I just followed you on the Twitter, not on the Twitter, on Instagram. I'm already following you on the Twitter.
Yeah, it's much more easy to find creators, I guess, on Twitter because like I don't know what it is, but it's just things hashtag and connect easier. I don't know what it is, something like that. But Instagram's just so saturated with artists, maybe.
Well, I mean, remember and I think Instagram tries to change its business model because they were trying to compete with Snapchat. They had tried to purchase Snapchat, and then Snapchat was like, "No, we're gonna keep doing this thing on our own." Which Instagram is Facebook, so it's the same company. So they tried to make a purchase of Snapchat, and Snapchat told them to kick rocks. So then they stole a lot of the things that you used to not be able to like go live and do all this. Remember, Instagram was created to share pictures. So if you're going to share pictures, being an artist, that would seem to fit your wheelhouse.
Right.
And I've got some of my artist friends that don't necessarily like the changes that Instagram is. Now they're doing the Reels, which is them trying to compete with TikTok. The real thing is them doing TikTok. They did the, being able to like upload the videos and stuff. That was just, stuff for Snapchat and things like, and be able to like go live and stuff. Because like when I got on there, you could just, you could share pictures and do little things like that. But then they were like, oh, we're going to do Instagram live, and now if they hadn't made some of those changes, some of the cool stuff that I've seen, especially over the summer with everybody, kind of being on lockdown, we had the thing what they called the Verses, which was what was that? Timberland and Swiss Beats. They came up with this thing called Verses, and I think they were the first Verses where they kind of did like a DJ battle, and it was like live on Instagram Live and pulling. And then now they've had like Snoop Dogg versus Rick Ross. They just had Brandy versus Monica, and that thing went crazy. They had like 1 million people live. They had Shaka Khan versus Gladys Knight.
That's unbelievable.
They had what? No, they had 2 Chainz versus Rick Ross. I saw that one, and Snoop Dogg went against somebody. I don't know. I thought Snoop Dogg was on there, but they had Teddy Riley on there. I think it was Teddy Riley and RZA, something like that. But they do all these and like I said, when I follow the official Versus account, which like I said originally it was just 2 guys going, hey, let's do like a Versus battle on Instagram Live, and now they actually got sponsors and stuff now. And I'm like, when they had DJ Premier versus the RZA, they had at different points they had over 900,000 people watching live.
Dude, that's crazy.
And I was in the chat and I saw people like Drake in there. I was like, oh wow, Drake's in the chat, and I'm in the chat.
Right. Yeah.
And I was like, that's crazy. You know, it was like there were all these celebrities in the chat. I was like, oh, LeBron James is in here. What?
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I'm in here with LeBron James. And I was like, I actually took a snap because they had over 900,000 people. And I was like, wow, that's unheard of. They were like top trending live on Instagram. And I mean, it was trending. They were so big on Instagram that it was trending on Twitter. I'm serious. It was.
That's a funny joke. Yeah.
People, I don't even mean that as a joke. When you went to what the trending hashtags on Twitter versus was trending on Twitter, people were on Twitter going, "Yo, I'm on Instagram. Come watch this."
That's hilarious.
I was sitting, and I'm talking hundreds of thousands of tweets telling people to go, "Yo, you got to see what's going on Instagram." So I was sitting there going, "Wait a minute, if I'm Twitter, do I want my users telling everybody to go to the other platform that's been competing and trying to, you
can't help that. You got to let that roll, I'm sure.
But when they did the Brandy and the Monica one was huge. And that one, matter of fact, because they had I remember one thing kind of ticked me out. They did they had a Kamala Harris make a cameo appearance on.
Really?
She figured a lot of Negroes would be watching, so she did a little live video insert into. They put this big monitor behind Brandy and Monica, and she showed, "Hey girls, just watching Nevada," and all this. Right. And I was like, "Oh my god." Okay.
Oh man.
Yeah.
She wants to vote, man.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and there were over 1 million eyes on that. And then when, the next day, everybody was like, "Oh, Kamala Harris made an appearance on the Brandy Monica verses." There were all these clips on YouTube and stuff. So it worked. It went, like I said, she had at least about 1 million people watching her when she showed up there. And then there were all these different articles and stuff. So, I mean, it got a lot of coverage.
Right.
And like I said, this was originally just started by two guys going, "Hey, let's do a DJ battle."
Yeah.
They came up with this. Let's just, hey, everybody's on lockdown. Let's just do a DJ battle. And it went well. And then they started getting other people, because I was looking forward to the one with DJ Premier and RZA, because I'm a big Wu-Tang fan.
Right.
I'm a big Wu-Tang fan, and DJ Premier is, oh my God, I love his music. So I was like,
yes, it seems like it would be a good match. Yeah.
Yeah. But RZA is apparently a boomer. And I'm like, for him to be such a genius, and I've watched, they had a Wu-Tang, I think it was on Hulu. They had a Wu-Tang, like a little mini series. Yeah, it was kind of explained. It was like, what was it, like 10 parts or whatever.
Oh, cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's it was basically them, starting from the beginning and explaining. There was a lot of good information on the little documentary thing that they did. So, but you hear RZA, and he would talk about, he didn't have any formal training. He never, matter of fact, his teachers all thought he maybe had a learning disability or whatever. And this dude is like but you study history and you see people like Beethoven, they thought something was wrong with him, or whatever. Mozart, something that people thought something was wrong with him. It's like this dude just had, he was like, yeah, I never studied like music. I never had any formal training. And then all of a sudden, or even someone like Andre 3000 from Outkast.
Oh yeah.
He didn't have any music training. And then it was crazy. Like once they started becoming successful, he actually started like studying different kind of music. He had some kind of, I remember there was an article, he actually enrolled in Juilliard, and wanted to go to, he was like, I'm going to actually, I was like, dude, you're a multi-millionaire. It was, but at the same time, I'm like, this dude is it's like Michael Jordan going, hey, I want someone to teach me how to play basketball.
Right. It's a little,
it's like,
I see the humility, but yeah.
But at the same point, but then you hear Andre 3000 go, well, one of the things I was studying was I wanted to learn about classical music. So he wants to write like like sonas and do like Mozart type stuff, write actual classical musical ballads and stuff like
Right.
I was like, wow, that's interesting. Because I laughed. I was like, why would someone that's already been extremely successful and won Grammys and stuff like that, and then he goes, you know what? I want to go to Juilliard and study music.
Yeah, it's the one reason why he made it to the top in the first place, because he's got that drive, that curiosity.
It's I always people always make fun of me because there's certain quotes from like the Karate Kid. And Miss Miyagi was a wise motherfucker, man. He just said he dropped a lot of game out there, so people were laughing, but he was dropping jewels out there. So he was, he was talking to Daniel-san, and Daniel, he was like, well, karate, and nobody should be able to beat you. And he goes, someone always know more.
Yeah.
He was like, anybody can get it. It's like, it don't matter. You think Mr. Miyagi is badass and he knows martial arts and everything, but he's telling you someone always knows more. You can always get this work. You don't ever stop working. Don't ever think more than that. You know what I'm saying? There's always something else to learn.
Right.
So I always like that when he told Daniel, he's like, someone always knows more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's that beginner's mind. You got to try to find that basis for everything. Find learning, for loving the grind, loving the process.
Absolutely, and that's what. So, like I said, I thought that was really cool. So I changed my thinking on Andre 3000. I was like, why would he? Like I said, because I was sitting there going, dude, you already a millionaire and you already make successful records and you sell 1 million records. You can put a record out right now and sell 1 million records right now. And he's like, someone always knows more.
Yeah, it boggles the mind, man, sometimes. But yeah.
So yeah, and then you hear, like I said, I mentioned Timbaland before. He's someone else that has studied classical music. He's like, I don't want my music. I am a hip hop producer, but I want my music. I want to, because he's worked with like, different artists, what was it, Natalie and Imbruglia and all these different, he was obviously producing Justin Timberlake, and,
right.
He uses hip hop stuff in there, but he can also like, let me get some violins in here. Let's do, and there was a great documentary about Dr. Dre and Jimmy Iovine that came out earlier this year, and I think it's called The Masters or something. It's on HBO Max. And it's incredible. It's like 3-4 parts or whatever. And I thought it was incredible where you hear Dr. Dre talking about listening. He's listening to things that, Dr. Dre grew up in Compton. Why would he be talking about Bach? You know what I'm saying? It's so just, that's just studying your craft and being good at it and everything. So it's just the fact he's like, oh man, let me, I don't want, you hear a lot of hip hop heads and they go, oh, I listen to like Nas, I listen to Rakim when I was going, I listen to Run DMC, Kool Moe D, I listen to this, I listen to LL Cool J, and he's like, oh man, I listen to the New York Symphony playing Mozart, and,
right.
I listen to that, it's like. I listen to, Beethoven, this is.
It's like, but there's like raw music theory in that old stuff, that the classical stuff that if you start understanding, you probably can really start integrating it,
Yeah, Flavor. A lot of people don't know, like someone like Flavor Flav. Flavor Flav is classically trained pianist.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
He can play the piano. He's crazy. And I was like, and this is a guy that's admittedly been a crackhead and done all that thing, but he can actually sit down at the piano and play like Chopin and stuff. He can play classical music. Yeah, and that's I remember he was when he was doing his Flavor of Love show, and he actually, they actually filmed the scene where he sat down at the piano, and he was actually, and I was like, he can actually play the piano.
Yeah,
that's crazy. It was like, because I was already a huge Public Enemy fan anyway. And and I was sitting there going, man, that's Flavor Flav, and he's playing like, playing like Bach or something, Beethoven. He was like, he's playing Moonlight Sonata or whatever, just all that. So
that's jarring, but yeah, I'm used. My mom used to play it when I was a kid too. She's used to be a music teacher, so I'm used to hearing some of that. I don't know any of it myself. She always tried to teach me music theory, but it's so hard.
I think her creativity did transfer to you, but it just transferred to you in a different way. You're clearly a brilliant artist. Like I said, the
Thank
art
you.
is just incredible, man. I was like, I'm digging this, and like I said, as more people get onto you and stuff, and they see this project, I think you are going to be surprised by the response.
Yeah, I would say my goals are small, but I think my ambitions are big. So it's like this weird, you know what I mean? I'm trying not to get my feet ahead of my body, I guess.
Mm,
Yeah, you know what I mean?
I
So
feel you on that, man.
yeah, this
Whew.
is amazing. Thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Is there anything else that you want to say before I shut this bad boy down? And
Anybody listening, I appreciate if you check out the starcircuitcomic.com and the links maybe in the description. The mailing list is the only thing I'm judging when I'm going to release this thing. So I just don't want it to release to like a bad reception necessarily. Just wanted to get the ball rolling in a nice way. So I appreciate anybody who goes checks it out. It also, there's a teaser trailer on my YouTube channel. My YouTube's just Joe Catapano.
tell
And
your last name because there's going to be some podcast people.
okay, so yeah, Catapano is Cat, so CAT, and then APANO, and that's my last name. First name's Joe. So the teaser's up there. I'll be releasing a full trailer, obviously, when the campaign starts. But yeah, I love this book. I love the themes around it, and appreciate everyone checking it out.
Well, let's see. Lone Star Viper says he just signed up. All right. Well, like I said, yeah.
Lone Star, salute you.
Yeah, like I said, yeah, I'm there as well. I'm on your mailing list as well. I'm very much looking forward to checking this one out, man. I think you're gonna have a special project here. I like the way you color. Definitely like the way I'm digging it, brother. I might have to get you to do something for me.
Oh, no worries there. I love doing all types of stuff too. I got in the back there. I got a Shinobi from PS2 and on the works. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, man. All right.
Well,
Let me do the rundown there. So I'm gonna put this up on my podcast. You can catch that anchor.fm/cardpress. And of course, if you're on one of the other streaming platforms like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, or iHeartRadio, or Google Podcasts, or Stitcher, TuneIn, just type in a Card Press. It should come right up. And again, thank you to all the beautiful folks over there on Planet EJOBN over there on Facebook, rocking out with us. And if you do want to just hop into any of my chats, they are youtube.com/AkariPress. I miss my Periscope people. Like I said, unfortunately, they were having some weird difficulties on Twitter. And so I was unable to connect to Periscope. But I'm hoping when I do my next stream that they'll have all those little weird bugs ironed out. But and please go to daymcomic.com because we are very close to cracking that 1,000 mark on the signups for Super Official. So
awesome. For one thing, for your backing for brand Way of the Gun, do you have a perk, a tier for getting the first issue, the first chapter?
That's you actually, when you go on the page, you'll see the Hall of Fame pack.
Oh, great.
And it'll have it'll have book 1, it'll have book 2, and it'll also have the Fame book, which is Fame is one of the characters that we introduced in book 1, and a lot of people really liked him, and they were wanting to know more about him. So I was like, hey, let's do an origin for Fame. Let's actually tell his story. So so you can get that. The Hall of Fame pack has everything in it, and then that
one's the one for me.
Please. But that's it, guys. This was fun. Joe Catapano. This is I definitely would like to have you back sometime, especially like when you launch. Holler at me. Let me know.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. I'd love to have you back because, like I said, Star Circuit looks really cool, man. I wish you the utmost success with it, sir.
Same with you. I really appreciate coming on.
All right, guys, we're out. As always, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right here on YouTube, all at Ikari Press. If you type in IkariPress.com, it takes you to Brand Way of the Gun. Also, please hit up DaymComic.com so we can keep getting that super official because, when we do the launch, we're going to have a nice launch for super official. I'm very much looking forward to been working very closely with Mr. Patterson, also known as Daym Drops, and very much looking forward to you guys seeing him and all getting to hang out on a live stream and have fun. So in the words of Tigger, TTFN, ta-ta for now, whatever, yeah. Peace.
See ya.